Hello everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Banker. Today, Hermes is suing the artiste who created the metabirkins. Let's get into the details of all of that. First, subscribe to my channel here on the tubes. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, Super Dacob, all spelled together. Thank you to my members and patrons who have already pledged. This video is being filmed live on a Saturday, which is the day I live stream. Everybody's always invited. And here are my live co-chattors. Let's bring them all in. Hi guys, welcome everybody. So, we be talking Birkins as BOF reports. The French leather goods giant alleges trademark infringement and dilutive use of its iconic Birkin name. Hermes is suing the NFT creator Mason Rothschild. Now, a lot of you, we've been talking about this. He created a collection of Meta Birkins, and I made a video about this, so be sure to check out that video in the description box down below. I'll post in the card section up above also the link to the video. So these are the Meta Birkins that he created. So you can see here, he created like these digital renditions of fluffy, furry Birkins as an art project. But you can check all those details in my other video. So now, second part of the saga, now, Hermes is coming for his butt. They want everything from him. All his money, honey. The money, darling. The money that they want. So Hermes is suing the NFT creator Mason Rothschild. Now, a lot of you have been saying in that other video, he's a Rothschild. Oh, you can imagine. Now, I don't think he's really a Rothschild. I think he's just using this name to be cool, to act like. But maybe he is a Rothschild. Either way, does it really matter? Probably does. Because if he really was a Rothschild, there would be no suation going on for sure. So anyway, Hermes is suing, allegedly, Mason Rothschild, who has seen viral success marketing a line of digital assets that he calls the Metabirkins. The French luxury house dropped its famously secret posture in order to come out guns blazing against Rothschild in a 47-page complaint submitted to New York's Southern District Court last Friday, calling the creator a digital speculator who is seeking to get rich quick. Really, Hermes? Because kind of that sounds like exactly what you are, making people buy so much before you allow them to buy a Birkin or a Kelly. That sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme to me, if I ever saw one in the luxury business myself. Hermes. Girl, Hermes, don't get me started. Anyway, the complaint, which was first reported on the Fashion Law. Oh, there's a magazine called the Fashion Law. Now, that is something that I would be more interested in than going through Vogue. And a Wintour, maybe Condé Nast should, maybe this is Condé Nast. Maybe Condé Nast is also doing the Fashion Law magazine. I don't know. Raises questions about how trademark protections for real-world items will be enforced in the digital realm as commercial activity heats up in the metaverse. Brands including Balenciaga and Nike are experimenting with virtual fashion, non-fungible tokens or NFTs, unique digital assets authenticated using blockchain technology, depicting fashion items have sold for millions in recent months. Rothschild's digital dupes of the Birkin, which depict fur-covered bags shaped like the iconic totes, first sold online in December for $42,000. The bags retail for over $10,000 in the physical world and are particularly coveted in the resale market due to their limited production. A few weeks later, NFT exchange OpenSea removed the Meta Birkins from its online exchange in response to a cease and desist letter from Hermes. But Rothschild continued to market them on his website, linking visitors to other exchanges where they remain available to buy and to sell. Rothschild simply rips off Hermès' famous Birkin trademark by adding the generic prefix meta. Hermès said, or Hermès counsel alleged in the complaint. They went on saying, there can be no doubt that this success arises from his confusing and dilutive use of Hermès' famous trademarks, the company added. Rothschild has claimed that as an artist, his activities are protected by the First Amendment, guaranteeing freedom of speech, calling the metabirkins a playful abstraction of an existing fashion culture landmark. He has been quoted to have said, I am not creating or selling fake Birkin bags. I've made artworks that depict imaginary fur-covered Birkin bags, Rothschild said in a statement online Monday responding to Hermès' complaint. I won't be intimidated, he added. Hermès has pushed back against his interpretation, saying, allegedly, although a digital image connected to an NFT may reflect some artistic creativity, just as a t-shirt or a greeting card may reflect some artistic creativity. Oh my God, they're such bitches. The title of artist, in quotes, oh my God, Hermès is throwing the shade. The title of artist does not confer a license to use an equivalent to the famous Birkin trademark in a manner calculated to mislead consumers and undermine the ability of that mark to identify Hermès as the unique source of goods sold under the Birkin mark, the company said. The company argues that without the court's action, metabirkins could ultimately preempt Hermès' ability to offer products, oh poor Hermès, and services in virtual marketplaces that are uniquely associated with Hermès and meet Hermès quality standards. Hermès wants the court to require Rothschild to cease his activities, surrender the metabirkins.com domain to Hermès, and pay damages, including his profits from selling the digital assets. The shade of it all. Because I can tell you one thing. These Birkins and Hermès are playing with fire. Because if Hermès is going to... Oh, thank you for the super chat, Rich.
$1.99 super chat from Rich Lux.
Thank you, sweetie.
Like that, we all own Birkins.
And just like that, we all own Birkins. I know. But listen, on another... This is the problem here. If freedom of expression as an artist is compromised here, this is the first step to shutting up artists later on down the line. Why? Because if Hermès were to win this, envision the next step. Some politician that is running to become president has his persona or her persona, and some satire comedian artist goes after them and makes satire art about how they behave, about their political views, and then using this as a precedent, that politician can sue a person. And you might say, well, there's a difference there because that's a public persona, they're running for office. Like, hunting season is open on them. But, truth be told, at the same time, the allegations that are happening here, what the artist claims is that he, under the First Amendment, freedom of speech, he has the right to also comment. He's delivering an artistic commentary on the Birkins. He has the right to that speech. Hermès is now to try to win in court, alleging that he technically is not really an artist, because when they described him as an artist, they put his name under quote, like artist. Yeah, right. So they're kind of now trying to debunk the fact that he is an artist in a very subterfugeous way, which opens up a big can of worms, because if anybody can just come for you and say, well, I'm going to sue you because you're not an artist, because I don't consider you an artist, so you're not an artist. So this is not an artistic commentary on the Birkins. it's very dangerous, because if everybody starts suing everybody for their freedom of expression, well, then freedom is gone. Democracy is gone. It's gone. It's that simple, you guys. So just to make it very clear, yes, on one side, Hermes might be playing that game and saying, well, these are Birkins after all, and if we want to go one day into the metaverse with our Birkins, we want to have the right to do so. And I mean, I say, like, yeah, you do have the right to do so. Go ahead, make your Birkin NFTs. Go ahead, make your Birkin metaverse. Make your shopping experience at Hermes and turn it into a video game. Make it only available to already has a purchase history, like you like to do, Hermes, don't you? You love to. Hermes, we know what a mess you is, and we know the games that you're playing. So, you alleging that quick money grabbing scheme, making these things, profiting off of us. Hermes, you do the same thing. I might or might not have connections with people working at Hermes. So everything I'm about to say now is alleged. So allegedly, each and every single one of these people that I know, worldwide, working for Hermes, have reported back to me. Oh, Hermes, here's a little tidbit of information for you. Allegations wanted that there are enough Birkins and Kellys always in the back, because we know you have one in the back, and we have proof. So you are artificially creating this, oh, sorry, we don't have a Kelly and a Birkin. But buy some ugly porcelain piece of something for your house. Buy an ugly blanket with a huge H. Buy a couple of shoes you're never going to wear. Buy some ugly clothes too. And if you've reached your 10 to 20 to 30K shopping experience with us, then maybe a Birkin might come available, but you don't get to choose which color. We choose for you. Allegedly. Now, seems like the Birkins are always there, available. So Hermes, who's trying to run a scheme here? Who? This artist who's critically commenting on this pop cultural phenomenon, or you trying to, on top of all the millions you already have, trying to earn even more on top, even quicker than selling your stuff, because you want him to give you all the money and all the profits from an idea that he had. Jackie says, is the artist actually name his bag as Birkin, or it's just looks like Birkin? Jackie, he called his bags metabirkins, all spelled together, METABIRKIN and KIRNS, plural and singular. So he called them metabirkins as one word. So I mean, let me know in the comment section down below what your opinions are, because this is a really juicy topic. I think this brings up a lot of conversation potential and like food for thought, because there's so much to talk about here. And there's so much to consider, like the pros and the cons of this lawsuit. Mayara Silva says, oh, the shade. Love it, right? Mary says, what is the definition of artist? There's several definitions of artists. Let's say in the art world, now this doesn't apply to every country, potentially, but usually, if push comes to shove, how you define an artist is if exponential art figures. What is exponential? They've been to important museums, they've exhibited in important museums, they've exhibited in important exhibitions, they have had books written about them, they have had their own publications published in connection to the art scene. There is a number of exponents, of art exponents, that are asserted and confirmed artists within the art world. If this number, which I don't remember anymore if it was 5 or 6 or 4 or 10, between 4 and 10 is the number. I don't remember the exact number, but there's a certain amount of people that are confirmed artists. If they publicly state that you are an artist, then you're an artist. Of course, you also have to be active in the field, not that they're making some performance artwork and just picking a random person on the street and 10 artists point at that person and say, you're an artist, and then all of a sudden you're an artist. No. It's like you are alleging that you're an artist. Nobody believes you, but you got those 10 people to back you up that are artists, then you're good to go. I don't know how much that would hold in court in the United States because they are suing him in New York. But if it might. It might. Jackie says he should call it the Meta Journey bag. But the shape is also obvious, and this concept makes sense if you say, well, it's a Birkin. It doesn't make sense if you don't call it a Birkin. He would have had less success if he didn't call it a Birkin. And I have a sneaky suspicion, and this is where now I'm going to call out the artist as well, because I'm not fully on his side. Yes, I am for freedom of speech and expression, but I don't like the shady practices that he's doing, because let's be honest here, you guys. This is some lazy Oompa Loompa ass shit, what he did here. Some rendering program, 3D rendering, adding fur. As Miranda would say, groundbreaking. Like, this is literally the most lame ass, lazy ass shit I've ever seen. And I've seen some really lazy shit in the art world in the past decades. But this is really lazy. So, I think, bottom line, his intention was to become really famous with this. His intention was to create the scandal, allegedly. This is just my personal opinion. His intention was to have Hermès come for him. His intention was to get a lawsuit against him. His intention was to have all of us, like little Oompa Loompas, talking about him. This is what he wanted. So, in my humble opinion, his ego is as inflated as Mount Everest. And so, that's why I'm not on his side on this. Had he, however, developed a real social commentary with this particular piece, because he also did the baby Birkin, which is like a baby. Anyway, that's a whole other ugly can of worms. But had he turned the practice that Hermès does, like whether or not they're sustainable, whether or not they pay their people properly, why do they still make reptile skin bags, leather bags? Like, had he made some sort of social commentary on the pop cultural phenomenon of Hermès Birkins, had he made a work that actually opens people's eyes on the futility of the world of luxury and yada yada, I would have been on his side. I would have been more like, oh, okay, this guy actually has something to say. But all he did was some ugly ass fur 3D renditions of Birkins, who, quite frankly, I really don't give half a shit for, and calls it art. So in a way, I'm also kind of a little bit on Hermès' side here, because, I mean, the way I would go for him would be like, girl, oh, honey, we would never make this shit. That's what I would, and I would sue him for that reason, because I would be like, listen, you're bringing down my name. You're making shit that I would never design, and you're putting my name on it. This is embarrassing. And that's how I would sue. Their approach is more intellectual and different, and I think it's silly. What I would do is like, okay, this is ugly as AF, and it's damaging my image. So take it down, take that shit down, or call it shit, because that's what it looks like. Boo-boo. So there's that. There's that. I think he was just super lazy, and he did think, let me just get famous quickly. Let's stir up a little bit of a scandal, darling. Quite the scandal, really. No, I see right through it. Super transparent for me, Mr. Mason Rothschild. Girl, you don't fool me. 1 minute. I know you're kind. I know you're kind. So that's all. I guess that's it. That's all I and my Hermès crop want to say. Leave me your opinions in the comment section down below. Let our girl know your thoughts. Julie Scott says, I agree. I have no love for Hermès, but it seems like just blatant use of a trademark name for profit only. Yeah, for his ego. And I'm like, girl, I know all artists have egos. Most of them do. But like, when it's this blatantly transparent, And you know what? In Europe, nobody gave a flying F about this. It's in America that shit like this works. Because it's all about the money. It's all about exposure. So in America, stuff like this is like juicy. everywhere else in the world, it's just embarrassing. I think the art world would have told him, had he done this in France, they would have seen them and they would have all, I love how nobody can top the snobbiness of the French. They can be, their stick, they invented the stick up a butt. I'm sure there's a made in France stick just made for that purpose that they use to train themselves to become as snobby as they are. And, but I love them for it, you guys. I mean, a lot of people get offended when the French get really snobby. I enjoy it so much. I always say, I wish, that after the lockdown, I end up at a party one day with Naomi Campbell, and just so that she could like throw shade at me. I'm that person. I love those shady moments. I would love Naomi Campbell to, how she could be a bitch. I love it. When she kind of shades someone, I would love her to like come to me at a party and like slap me because like, Dacob, how dare you? Who do you think you are? Poof. Slap me and leave. And I would be like, oh my God, she slapped me. I'm never going to wash this face again. So I'm living for that moment. Also, I think the French would have seen this ugly project and they would have just been like, ew. They would have just been like, oh my God. Oh, no, no. Oh, mon Dieu. C'est la la. Ah, merde. And then they would go and then they would eat their cheese and stuff. So elsewhere. But because it happened in America where shit like this flies, what are you going to do about it? That's how it works there. The land of dreams, the land of success, the land where you're ready to sell your grandmother, your grandpapa, for the almighty dollar. You're ready to holler for $1? Well, you can now because you're in the almighty United States of America. Howdy ho, everybody. Never forget to never give up on the dollar. Bye.